Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages. Welcome for, I think it's the 12th time I've done this season. Welcome along to One Hub. Welcome for the 9th time this season to the Prospects. It gets confusing with what I've done this season in terms of commentary. I'm lost as well as you are. But welcome along to One Hub. Welcome along to the round of, well, the final round. We're at round 10. It's over. This season's over. I'm crying. I'm upset. We're over. I mean, I've done 12 of the races from 10. So, go figure that one out. I don't know. Some weird timey-wimey stuff happened here today. But I'm not alone for once. I'm joined by someone special. Now, if you remember last week, I said in the chat I was going to bring Colin along to the commentary box when he was co-commentating in the chat. Well, look who's here. It's Colin. Say hello.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. A big thank you to OneHub for this will be my commentary debut. And what a debut it could be with the title so close in both the constructors and the drivers.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, of course. We'll go through that in due course when we get into qualifying. But further to do, for the second last time, because I'll say it later on, I might say it more than 2 times this afternoon, but it's to our sponsors and to our lovely partners and to Next Level Racing, sponsoredly providing prizes. Pure Sim Gifts, sponsoredly providing a pair of their sim racing gloves to the driver of the most combined poles and fastest lap. To our partners, Vespertine, partnered with Vespertine, who support our championship prizes, and of course to the lovely lads at ERT, partner the ERT Going Gets Tough award and the league trophies as well, and to SimGrid, powered by SimGrid, who of course run all our lovely platforms, community platform by the way, and the lovely standings as well, which has still got a slight graphical hiccup, but nonetheless I've managed to figure the way around it because I've managed to turn ads off. Because I don't know what I've done, so I've turned ads off, but it's still slightly there. But glossing over that, with a season, Colin, that is very close, separated by 1 single point into the final race this season. It's all to play for, isn't it?
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, what's really interesting is that Wapping Proverb, leading the championship by a point, is yet to win a race this season, which shows how consistent you need to be in the hunt. And Infamous, with 4 wins, is still just a point behind, and it's anyone's game. Even Rageman's in the hunt.
Yeah, indeed. In terms of the points, by the way, and where they finish, it's for Robin Proverb a 7th in round 1, a DNF in 2, and then it's a string of many 2nd and 3rd. The only position he's not finished in that is a 4th position. That was at round 6 at China. Every other race, he's finished 3rd, 2nd, 3rd, 3rd, 2nd, and 2nd. So he's been on a string of podiums whilst Infamous 4th for the first race, he got 3rd in the second, a win at round 3, which was at Mexico, before a 9th at Belgium. A string of 2 victories afterwards, of course, at Abu Dhabi, and then China, 4th at Spain. Brazil, he had a DNF due to something that I don't exactly know what happened. Off the top of my head, I think he got disqualified or some shenanigans happened. I was commentating on Podium, I think, that day. And Precision, actually, I think, as well. I was commentating a lot a few weeks ago. It gets confusing, but of course, came back last week to take a victory at the beautiful Italy, where he very much needed to. As well, Rageman, he's had 3 DNFs this season, and is still mathematically in chance of his title. A 2nd, a 4th, a 2nd, a 2nd, a 1st, a 4th, and a 5th last time out as well. So still to play for him as well. So I mean, there's always a possibility here for drama and excitement, but who would you reckon has got the most pressure here?
I would say, despite the fact that Proverb is 1 point ahead, I would say probably Infamous, is, with the 4 wins, is probably going to feel the pressure more than others. Wapping Proverb just seems to be enjoying his racing, and he's so consistent. He's really could be a thorn in Infamous's side, but I wouldn't count out Rageman. Anything can happen. It's notoriously high chance of rain around this track. And looking at the interviews, Infamous is praying for rain. But unfortunately with rain, it's anyone's game then, and it's so easy to make one small mistake. And especially with this track, there's not a lot of runoff. There's a lot of gravel on the Exeter corners, so it could be a very difficult race if it's in the rain.
Yeah, indeed, most certainly. I was looking through to see, by the way, we've got two people on a slightly low connection. That is you having a giggle and Robin Prover, but that normally just indicates that it's me, because those two always seem to do that when I commentate on them. But I think we are getting ready to go in just a few moments' time. We are 18:16 in the afternoon, of course, UK time, and I think, fingers crossed, everyone will ready up right now. There we go. Thank you, boys. As there they are, we're getting them all ready up. Will they all ready up this time around, so I don't have to sit around for the next 20 seconds? We've got waiting on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're waiting on Waze, TJ. We're waiting on Giggle. We're waiting on Storm. Who's going to be the last person? This is the gamble here. Who is going to be the last person in my list? Are we going to get them all ready up? They're not going to ready up. If they all ready up at the last second, I might cry. No, they haven't ready. You naughty people. I was expecting you all to ready up. You four are in my bad corner of not readying up in time. But of course, Portugal came on to this calendar. Of course, it's raced before back in the 1980s. But this exact circuit, the Portimao circuit, first opened in 2002. It was actually built for Formula 1 standards. It did actually host pre-season events in 2008 and 2009 respectively. Sometimes you might be able to see some images around here of the 2009 cars with 2008 pieces on the front and rear wing, which is, if you haven't seen them by the way, I recommend you looking, because they are some of the most brilliant looking and spooky looking things in history. They're either cursed or looking good. The Brawn looks pretty cool. The McLaren, on the other hand, looks terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. But it's what I reckon the 2017 regulations very much imitated. Low fronts, ring and rear wing, and all of that. So here's that one, of course. But the other circuits that did host the Portuguese Grand Prix, and you know how you mentioned, Colin, about rain. It's raining, but the other
I think I might have jinxed that one.
Yes, I think you have. The other circuit was Estoril, as well. That hosted back, I can't remember when it started, early 1980s, of course. Saw some very dramatic moments. Came off the calendar, I believe it was in 1997 was the last time we raced around Estoril, of course, which a lot of people, for some reason, mistake for the European Grand Prix as well. Especially if you ever had the F1 97 box, the Estoril track was always called the European Grand Prix, even though the European Grand Prix was the race at Jerez, which I always incorrectly thought was in New York, because I used to imagine Jerez and Jerez, I think, which is, of course, the state, or Jersey, should I say, as well. So that's probably what I always got confused about that one. But this circuit, it's absolutely beautiful.
Oh, it's an absolute belter. It's such a nice flowing track. The elevation changes on it are bonkers. I know the real F1 drivers, they nickname it the roller coaster. And you could see it. There's up and down. It's very fast. There's a few heavy braking zones, but not too much. But this track in the rain is very difficult.
Yes, now, I have noticed, by the way, it seems the Taz has decided to break on my end. It's having a bit of a moment on my screen. We're talking a moment. I say something and someone spins it when I say moment. Why does this always happen to me? Every time. There is Matthias, he's dropped it exactly on cue. As I say moment, so I'll ride on board with who's the next person on a lap time. We have got Jason. Now, Colin, is the Taz working for you, or is it a bit broken?
No,
for you as well?
not yet.
Not yet. Now,
not yet.
Should work. So either A, it's broken, or B, someone's given us the wrong link, or C, more questionably, we pressed the wrong button and it's done something wrong. But it doesn't matter too much. Issues like this happens as well. Jason, meanwhile, has invalidated his lap time by going more wide than a London bus at turn 1. So Jamie, next to do a lap time then, as he dives itself down the hill, down towards turn 1. 2 cars on the inside. That's going to be awkward, and that's going to get out of the way just about there. So they're very lucky they got out of the way as you now come in to 3. A little bit of a lock-up. That's going straight on my sunshine. And he will not make the corner, so we'll go on board with the next car because, well, he's invalidated now nearly. Well, he definitely is not on a lap time. So next to do a lap time is Whopping Prover, the man so far currently in the championship hunt. But that's not who I want to go on board with, because, Colin, I'm going to let you commentate on your dad.
Oh, lovely. Right, so he's into the first corner. Very difficult to find a braking point, very fast corner. So now we're coming in to the hairpin here. Now, this is quite difficult. You don't want to go out too wide. You want to swing back in. Quite nicely done there by Mason. Now, this into the downhill turn 5. Very difficult to spot the braking point. Does he find the apex? Not too bad, not too bad. Easy on the power now. As we come into the flat out, is it flat out? This might not be in the inters. No, a lift off. Turn 8, notoriously difficult to try and get the power down on the exit. He does it quite nicely, nice smooth. Now, will this be flat out? It's in the dry. Yeah, no hint of a lift there, that was brilliant. Into the apex here, very nice. He's lost it, and he's out of qualifying. Mason will be starting last.
Yes. You know how you said he's going to get a very good exit and then immediately dropped it? Welcome along to the Wild Curses, and you cursed your father. Oh,
so
dear.
It took me about 2 minutes to my first commentator's curse.
Yes, it has taken you 2 minutes, so welcome to the club. Meanwhile, Jamie, he's dropped it as well, we believe. As we look down the field to see, where is whopping Proverb in all of this one? We'll go back to him. He's currently down in 7th. Infamous, by the way, has just gone up to P1, so your 2 total protagonists, one in 1st, one in 9th. I believe Whopping Proverb must have invalidated his lap time somewhere. So that's probably why that one has happened, and I'm just looking to see the Taz is still not working, unfortunately, so it looks like we might not have the ability of Taziness currently, which is unfortunate, but nonetheless, luckily for me, due to me being dyslexic, I don't normally always look at it. I mean, what? Talking of people going up the order as I'm not looking, here's Jason in the AlphaTauri. P1 right now. He's beating his teammate. And Jason right now, I suppose in his own words, has had a pretty up and down season, hasn't he?
He has. He has had a victory. He did have one victory, but he's down in 10th in the championship on 39 points. I don't think he'd be super happy with that, but if he can really push and get the Constructors' Championship alongside Infamous in the AlphaTauri, then he will be really delighted that they're really up for it.
Yeah, indeed, as here comes Whopping Proverb up to the line, and that is P6 for him, a 1:28.005. By the way, to the chat, let us know if you can both hear us audibly okay, as well as we are working through to see. Big tank slapper there, Mr. Proverb. We got a yellow flag for Matthias, who's now slot himself in to P2. Infamous down in 3rd, Sully in 4th. Waze, meanwhile, he's currently in 5th as he comes up into this tricky right-hander. Rear end says no, as per usual, as he gets the rear end. Well, he's got his tail out like a donkey right there, as we'll say. Meanwhile, further down the field, Jacko in 6th, Proverb in 7th, Decisive is an 8th. We are waiting on Rageman, who crossed the line but is invalidated. We've got Jamie on a lap. We've got Giggle and Jess also on a lap time as well. Jess coming up to the line, and let's see where she can go. P8 right now, 1:28.88 times off of the the championship leader, Whopping Proverb. But I suppose in Whopping Proverb's words here, this has not been a very good lap time for him. He's 6 tenths down. He seems to be struggling in these conditions.
Yeah, he does. He really is going to be wanting to start a lot higher up on the grid. Possibly he's got a lot of fuel on board as he tries to get a rhythm of the track. We'll see what is this. No, he's slowing down here. I think this is going to be an in lap for him. Yeah, he comes into the pit lane. So we'll put a nice fresh set of inters on. Now, one thing I'm wondering, will the track dry up enough for dry tyres before the end of the session?
Well, that's the crucial thing. What is the conditions looking like? Well, what my eyes can tell you is it's wet. That's what my eyes can tell you. My eyes do lie to me a lot, because knowing my game on there, and if you know me long enough, it sometimes tells the old porcupines of what it's doing. Sometimes it looks like it's wet when it's not actually wet enough. So there's that one. As we look then at you having a giggle, 2 tenths down in his lap time. Both the houses there in the pit lane together. That's not going to help Matthias. We've got Jason coming out. We've got Infamous in the pit lane. We're looking down to see. We've got, is it Jess coming through the last corner right now? It is Jess coming through the last corner into the long right-hander and up towards the line. That TFC's going for a second post lane. Now, what the drivers sometimes do around here, which is something I do occasionally, is put more laps in and let the tyres kind of wear off a little bit. If the track conditions are just about right, you will gain a lot more time than you think, because the tyres will start to come down a little bit. They'll get a little bit worn, and sometimes, in some conditions, they will go faster. Remember Turkey 2020 of the interslick conditions, those days a couple of years ago as well. So it's always a possibility. Meanwhile, as Giggle goes up to P3 right now, as across the line comes the Mercedes to begin their lap time. That will be Sully, who is just a 10th down on his lap time. Jacko's down a second. So, a few people not finding lap times right now. A few people going up and down. But let's see what the rest can do so far. Rageman purple sector 1 and a purple sector 2 on my screen.
Yeah, he's looking really good here. Really strong. So he's coming towards the end of the lap now. This is a very tricky corner in the rain. But he's carried his speed very nicely. Last corner. Easy flat in the dry. A hint of a left in the inters. Where's this going to put him?
Fast.
Pole! Well, provisional pole. By 3/10. Cracking lap from Rageman.
Yeah, 3/10 a second quickly. And now what is Infamous going to be doing? Well, he's in the pit lane. Where is Robin Proverb on an outlap right now? He's just come out of the pit. We're looking at Jess crossing the line right now for another lap. 9/10 quicker for Jess there. So, looks like I said what I did mention, Colin, about these guys do, and girls, I might say, doing added laps to get a bit of degradation through. As, talking of issues, Jason has retired from qualifying. He's dropped it as that were turn 1, 2, 3, 4. Is where he's dropped it. Actually, was about to see Jess's there, so
yeah,
it
just seen him on
curb.
the side there.
Hayden West is also retired, though that is in the pit lane, it looks like.
Yes, Aiden does have his engine penalty this race. So he'll be starting at the back.
And I will say, I mean, there's a little bit of a loophole, unfortunately, here. Is if you manage to stay in, even if you're not staying a lap time, you will actually jump people if they retire. Nonetheless, I think what we need to do in future is if you have your engine penalty, you have to retire immediately, because that should, in theory, put you straight at the back of the grid. Because what Aiden's done, unfortunately, isn't his fault, is he will be ahead of Mason and TJ, because both of those guys have had issues, and decisive, talking of issues, just invalidates his lap time, as I say, issues as well. So that's a potential loophole right there, I reckon.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, and obviously they never stand still. They're always improving, and that's one thing that they may look at for the next season.
Hopping Rover
one
coming up.
Driver that's really impressed me this session so far is Matthias. He's struggled a little bit this season, but he's put himself up in 4th, and he really is. The wet weather conditions around Portugal seem to really suit him.
I'm done. It's called by Dexter Butler. You need to put your setup on and do an outlap, isn't it? So yeah, that might be why it's a bit difficult for that. But
of course, yes.
I suppose that makes a bit of sense then. So there's that one. They say that, Luke. Not Colin. John. I'm gonna get you two mixed up all afternoon now. This is the curse. It's gonna be me. Mason Junior, as he's not Junior, but I'm gonna keep calling him Junior. Mason Senior Junior. There we go. We'll say that. Who did set a lap time nearly. He was halfway through his front line lap and then binned it, unfortunately, due to curses. He actually was further along than Aiden, so I didn't really know how he managed to get ahead, but we'll flow with it. Meanwhile, here's Robin Prover for the last corner. He would dearly love this lap time to be P1. The answer is, it's P3. That's very decent though, but still, was it 4/10 off, is it? Just about 4/10 of Rageman. That lap time of Rageman, absolutely incredible so far. Jacko in 4th, Sully in 5th. We're looking at Infamous right now. This is the one we're looking at. He's 2/10 up as he comes through the back end of this circuit. Keeps it on the throttle, runs out just about as wide as you can do. Now through this last corner, a bit more of a lift, a bit more coast through here. Now get back on full throttle. Careful not to get on the outside curb, because it sometimes will throw you off. Only P9 again, so needs to find more time. We saw this low a couple of weeks ago at Monza, and we've seen it before as well, where Infamous has a slow qualifying and then will come alive as this session goes on. And we've got Waze, who has retired. He's dropped it out. He's dropped at the same place that John retired a little while ago. We also had an Aston Martin who dropped it. I presume that might have been Storm, who must have dropped it slightly on the exit of turn 4. So, tricky conditions here, Colin. I mean, it's unsurprising around the circuit, which has got a lot of undulation.
Yeah, it's very, very difficult. It's very traction limited. A lot of the corners on the this turn 8 here, prime example. Oh, and Infamous is round. Infamous has spun.
Oh, the lag right there as we got to Infamous's on board. That was interesting. Gets it back going again, and well, you're saying about turn 8. There's 2 for you. There we go. I'm gonna be out of a job in a minute. Here, cursing.
It's it's just showing how difficult this track is in the rain. And Infamous, I know that he was really hoping for wet weather, but he seems to be struggling at the moment. And only 4 minutes of the session to go. He's down in 9th, and his 2 championship rivals in 1st and 3rd.
Yeah, meanwhile, Indecisive, he took a bit of a break there for the last corner. He really hesitated there. And you can go a little bit quicker, Indecisive. Only 3 attempts down your lap time, and see what he can do. One of my little favourite drivers. I do love Indecisive. He's a great bloke. He's a lovely commentator, by the way, as well. Been commentating for him the last couple of weeks, and I said a few weeks ago, do you have had to commentating sometime? And he said, yeah, if we get time, and we commentated 2 weeks in a row. Unfortunately, if that doesn't invalidate, I'm like, how? Game, right, question marks. He's gone quickest in, well, he's not gone quickest, but he has gone quicker in Sector 1. This is the strategy right here. We've discovered here. Indecisive has broken the motto. Now watch him drop it here at turn 8. Up the hill, careful on the power. I'm going to count it. Goes wide again, doesn't have. Indecisive's an alien.
This is a very nice solid lap actually. He's run a little bit wide there.
That was invalidated. Yeah, no? Really?
No.
How? Right, something's going on here, isn't there? Right, is he still up, is the question. The answer is I don't know. He is the next car to cross the line. Rageman is currently leading. He just crossed the line a minute ago. We've got a car at stopped at turn number 1. That will probably be Proverb, who's currently on an out lap. For the last corner comes Indecisive. Hesitates a bit there as he tries to go on the power up through the gears across the line. Does he improve? No, he doesn't. 6 steps down. I think that was fair enough there. He did have a bit of an issue. Looking at your comment, by the way, and James saying, we've been good, it's been a tough 3 weeks, we've been in hospital, he's had his appendix out, so minimum lifting for me for the minute. Well, I hope you get better soon, Mr. Hooky James, right there as well. I've actually never had I say I've never been in a hospital. I have actually. I managed to crack my head slightly open when I was really little. I tripped and hit my head on a log, and I got glued back together, so I am literally Humpty Dumpty.
Well, Infamous has just put it up to 5th, only 2 tenths off Jason, and just a 10th behind Proverb, so he's really found some pace. Maybe a little setup tweak. He's really seems to be getting into a nice rhythm now.
Finding a bit of time right now, finding a bit of pace. He comes down into turn 11 as invalidates it low. He was a second down. I think he's going for a second push lap, but he wants to get on in a bit. He's got 1 more lap, so P5 for him. It's Proverb in 3rd. It's Rageman up front. We'll go, by the way, through the permutations in just a few moments' time. Don't forget as well, there's the championship has been decided here once, and Colin, you know, as you mentioned to me, when was the championship decided last here?
1984. Prost and Lauda, and it's actually the Lauda won it by half a point, and to this day it's the closest championship result Formula 1 has ever had.
Indeed, it most certainly has. We've had a technical tie for points, which I suppose is the technical closest, but I don't count that because that's dead heat. But half a point, now I don't think we'll ever see that again. We could have seen it this year, actually. I'm saying that we've seen it. It's very rare for it to happen. I don't think it actually can happen now since they've changed the points. I don't think you can get half points anymore. So
I think you can if it's less than 50%, I think. I'm sure the chat will be able to tell us.
I'm not 100% certain. I think the points have been changed so you can't get a decimal point.
Right. Gotcha.
But I can't remember off the top of my head because they did some shenanigans after Belgium and it really confused everything. Oh, big Cypher Provo! Woo-hoo! Keeps it on the island, and that's what we're going to be doing as we look down the field to see. We've got Infamous. He's the guy who's coming up closer to the line. Let's see what he can do. We've got Storm, who's just gone at P10, but this is the driver we are looking at. I think Provob's backed off his lap time. He has. So Provob's backed off. He's currently at P3. But here is Mr. Infamous. Is he going to be Infamous here through the last corner? Is this going to be an Infamous lap time from Infamous? The answer is no, he's not. Doesn't improve. He will start the season finale in 7th position. Now, Jacko, so that's Sully then, improves up a position as well. So now 7th. This is worst case scenario so far. He's down the order. What can Jacko do? We've got Jamie on the lap time as well. Jacko there, purple sector 2 then. So, we've got that as I look down and see Jamie is up by a couple of attempts, but he's going to be coming in the pit lane. He's got red indicator for fuel, so he presumably will be in at the pit lane. Here is Jacko though, through the last couple of corners. He's had some rotten luck this season. Has been good, has been poor, he's been cursed a lot, but now's the opportunity for him to come alive. There we go, P2. He's gone wider than a boat. But doing that, I tell you what, if you invalidated when I said that, I might have cried. That's why I stuttered. I think that's illegal, you know. I think that might need to be looked at, someone. That was very wide.
But what a lap, though. I mean, put the right on the front row, right in the dying seconds, and look how close it is. I mean, if you look at that, there's 8/10 separating the top 9 drivers.
Yeah, and indeed, your official rundown below. It's Rageman, Jacko, Matthias, Proverb, Jason, Sully, Infamous down in 7th, Giggle from Waze, Storm from Jamie, Indecisive, Jess from Indecisive, Len comes Aiden, Len comes Mason Senior Junior, and then TJ at the back. James saying, how are these laps not invalidated? That was a huge advantage either way. It was a good lap up to that point. It was. Despite me, well, I'm going to say I cursed him nearly, Lan. I'll say I cursed him because he went off the circuit when I said about not getting lucky. He went straight off the circuit. So he still hooked up to me there. But here we go, and this is going to be the moment. What is the weather going to be doing in the race? What's your gamble? I'm going to vote wet.
I think it'd be dry.
Right, it's one of two.
Wrong.
What's it be in between? It's dry.
Dry.
So this is going to be interesting, by the way. We'll quickly go through your permutations, by the way, which I've just got, by the way. I've just pulled them up. And so if Proverb wins with the fastest lap, Proverb wins the championship. If Proverb wins, Proverb wins the championship. If Proverb finishes second, Infamous must win the race to win the championship. Otherwise, Proverb wins the championship. Basically, whoever finishes second, you've got to finish ahead of. So it goes pretty much down all the way. So say if Proverb finishes 5th, Infamous must finish 3rd. So never mind then. So if he finishes 4th, he must finish 3rd. If he finishes 5th with fast lap, he must finish 3rd. Finishes 5th, he has to finish 4th. So it goes like that downwards all the way to. But the Rageman's still in this. If Infamous must finish 7th or 8th with the fastest lap to win the championship. But if Rageman wins this race with fast lap, Rageman wins the championship. Otherwise, Proverb wins the championship. So there's all to play for, and we're going to be keeping an eye on it throughout this afternoon. But we'll quickly go back through your sponsors then. And of course, to our sponsors, Next Level Racing, sponsorly providing prizes. Pure Sim Guest, sponsorly providing a pair of the Sim Racing gloves to drive the most combined poles and fastest laps. So partners, Vespertine. Partner with Vespertine, who support our championship prizes. ERT, partner of the ERT Go and Get Tough Award and the lovely league trophies as well. To SimGrid as well, who of course power our community platforms as well. That's where we get all our standings and all of our lovely things as well, including the calendar, which is with the final race. So I'd love to say which race is next week and not know, because there isn't a next week. And well, that's it. I mean, next time we'll see you presumably unless there's an award night somewhere, will be on F1 2022 in the near future. And of course, don't forget, by the way, there is sign-ups open for the ACC Leagues as well. That is, I believe, free to sign up for the PC and, of course, to the PS5. So don't forget to sign up to them because it's a lovely series. ACC is a lovely game. But what we can say about this afternoon is we're going to have a title showdown for the second time in Portuguese history, and it's all to play for.
This is going to be so exciting. I'm really curious to see how aggressive Infamous is going to be down in 7th. And will there be any team orders? Is he going to allow Infamous through to help him in the championship? It'd be really interesting to see.
And in terms of tyres, by the way, we got first on the mediums, we got second and third on a set of mediums. Robin Pro of Jason Sully on the softs. Infamous is going for the strategy on the medium. This could be gamblers low because look, behind them we've got Giggle, Waze, Storm, Jamie, Jess, Indecisive and Aiden. So we're all down to Indecisive on the softs. Aiden on that medium, then Mason and TJ both on the soft. This is going to be interesting to see who is going to be doing what. Up to your leader low as he comes through the last corner. And they're looking over the crest, and there you can see one by one they form up then on the grid. It's a little run down towards turn 1. It's a tight right-hander. We've seen many dramas here before. It funnels you in. What's out for turn 2 and what's out for turn 3 as well. Anything can happen here as you look down to the last car on the grid. Here is TJ, slots himself into position. Up front, Rageman, look at those lights. Look and wait. The impatience might start growing, but here we go then for the last time. Here in 1, up here in Prospect 5, red light. He'll be champion today as we leave the grid here in Portugal, and Rageman gets a very decent start. Jason there as well. Proverb getting up the position there as well. As there is Infamous dropping down 1 or 2 positions. They come into turn 1. Jacko and Jason. Jason's had a massive fly here as they come down to the corner. Jacko deep and Proverb has contact there with Jason. Proverb there. Contact with Jason. They come through the corners as running wide now. Proverb off the circuit. Rageman there leads this race as here comes Waze up the inside. We've got Aiden off the road in the background. Now down the inside and there's big contact with Jason's hit the rear of Proverb as well. Shuffling wide there. The other Alpha Terrace Infamous goes off the road as well. Onto drama here as we see almost Mark on as Wobbing Proverb there. Battling with Waze up the hill. Jacko losing the rear end. Infamous down in 9th position. Cannot fire these medium tyres up. But already some contact here as Proverb goes for the inside line then. And this is crucial. He needs to get his positions as he bangs wheels with Waze once or twice. And now up into 4th position again. And this is all getting a little bit leery, looking a little bit close. Indecisive picking up a penalty. But so far, just about everyone's kept their nose on, it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, Infamous had a shocking start. He was down in 11th at one stage. He's now got himself back up to 9th. He is on the medium tyres. If he could he needs to stay in the DRS now with Jason. And Jason's in the pit lane. Jason's in the pit lane because he got wing damage.
Yeah, like wing damage, I reckon. Then so he was very close. You can see running wide at turn number 1 is Whopping Proverb. As we look down through the field, we've got Infamous now. What do you do right now if you're Infamous? You are stuck in a trend. You've got 2 drivers on a faster tyres, but you know you are a faster driver. Do you go for the move straight away, you reckon?
I think he's got to. He's got to throw a bit of caution to the wind here, and if he feels he's quicker, he's going to have a go for it. I mean, one thing you've got to say is what a start by Shek Wace. Up 4 places. Absolutely tremendous start for the Red Bull driver.
Yeah, meanwhile, just seeing a car dropping down the field. That was of TJW, who's had a bit of a mistake. Robin Proverb there, he's taking no prisoners. Up a position here, side by side between the Red Bull and the Mercedes. Are we going to see squeeze off the road? Yes, we are. Just about give each other enough room on the exit. And those Waze will have the inside line. And Waze has had a bit of an up-down season. He sometimes gets very consistent and then gets very unlucky. He's had a lot of unfortunate incidents, but he's a quick driver on his day. When he gets it hooked up, he can really show up the best drivers. as Ray's now currently in 4th position. We've got, that would be Jason, who's gone off there, and that's a turn number 8, unfortunately, as he gets himself back going. The cameraman will not show us him. There he is right there, potentially probably overheated the tyres. The Proverb now up into 2nd position. Jacko didn't look like he fighted that one at all.
No, I think he's playing the long game here. He's on the medium tyre as well, and I think he's definitely playing the long game. It's a sensible strategy. They're really trying to get the Constructors' Championship. They're only 2 points behind AlphaTauri, so every single point's going to matter here, and he can't afford to get into any scuffles, any damaging of end plates. So I think Jacko seems to be playing it quite intelligently so far.
Yeah, 30 laps to go then, and so far Infamous, he's just sitting back, he's just waiting for an opportunity. But the issue is that there is a potential opportunity, but he's being so cautious right now. He's too far back to take any opportunity that will come to him. He's got Jamie up the road, we've got Sully, we've got Giggle, then we've got Waze. But he just needs to get a bit closer right now. He's got the pace, he's definitely keeping with these drivers, but where do you make a move? I mean, turn one's an opportunity, here's an opportunity, but then I'll be brave to go around the outside there, and he's just got to sit back, but he's in a DRS train as well. This isn't going to help him. Look at Proverb. Well, you can say, whopping up the road right now as Rage Man. He's a man on the mission so far. As meanwhile, here's the battle then for 4th and 3rd position. DRS open, and there is Waze getting back up into 3rd. Jacko in 4th. Further down the field, we're looking to see at Infamous going up the inside in turn number 1. And Jamie then not giving him an inch there, covers him off. And Infamous having to back out of this one. And this is the issue for Infamous. He's got it all to lose. Everyone around him, they have nothing to lose here, do they?
No, that's the thing. He's the one that's got to be a little bit careful. The other drivers, they're not really fighting for anything in the title-wise, so they can afford to be more aggressive. Dick's in the chat saying Jamie's had a cracking start as well. Yeah, he's up 4 places, and Mason up 5 places into 10th now.
Yeah, Mason flying up the order as well. Like I said, he's coming back through the field. Down 10 for Jason. He's had a poor start. Down Jacko 2 positions. 6 for Matthias. 1 for Infamous as well. He's from his original starting position as he's stuck behind Jamie right now. And I've seen this one before where the championship contender coming to the last race gets stuck behind the other cars. So it's not a Renault this time. And there is the Renault, by the way. It's the Alpine, which is not even a Renault, because the original Renault team is actually a different team. I think actually, well, team's the original. I'll get the confused. This used to be Alfa Romeo, I know that much. Talking of it, here he comes, and he will take 5th position right now. There he goes up the inside, and that's a job well done as he slots himself into turn number 1 and comes through on the exit. So there is another position further down the field. Looking at Infamous, he's finally got ahead of Jamie. So now up to 7, but as things stand, this will not do.
No, this isn't enough. He's 1 point behind Proverb, so he needs to beat him. And at the moment, he's 5 places behind him. But look at the pace Rage Man's got. He's got a 6.4 second lead. He's absolutely flying.
Yeah, Rage Man, final race of the season. He's turned up. He is doing absolutely everything so far. And I will say, so far, in his books, to do what he needs to do. He leads this race. Proverb in 2nd. He is doing the absolute maximum he needs and the minimum he needs to do in this race. And that is just outscore your rival Infamous. Because whoever finishes ahead, remember, in this, will win the championship. Even if they are 10th and 11th, they will still to be decided here, pretty much. So anything is for play for here today, and we're waiting, by the way, for your first stops. It should be around about lap 8 or 9. Undercut strategy, always a possibility. The tyres do go off pretty quickly. Waze, meanwhile, certainly flying. I tell you what, if I was Proverb right now, are you going to fight this one too heavily? You're going to keep the outside line, and he doesn't fight it at all. So he's playing the long game. Meanwhile, Jamie has got past Infamous, and Infamous, he's got Matthias now behind him as well, and Matthias could still come into this race, to be fair, as well. Look at Mason as well coming into the back list. Infamous is in a bit of trouble right now. He needs to get these positions. He needs to get them quickly. Jacko right now gets passed by Jamie up the inside. These two battling. He's now into 8th position, actually, so he's got ahead of Matthias. Is he going to look for a potential manoeuvre here on Jacko? No, he's not going to do up the inside there. Jacko says no, thank you very much. And Be careful right now, you don't end up getting yourself caught up on a curb. Don't get yourself caught up too far behind. He's just stuck there. Look, he's wanting to come through right and left. And I tell you what, Jacko's backing him up here a little bit. Jacko is actually backing him up. And this is interesting because look at here, as you can see, he's trying to go around the outside and he's losing another position. As now the inside on yellow flag, and there is a car off the road. That is indecisive. As you can see, Matthias looking to the inside. Jacko backing Infamous up absolutely a lot. And look here, look at the gap. Now that Wobbin Proverb and Rageman have got, they have got nearly a pit stop advantage. This is really hurting Infamous, and Jacko, for whatever reason, is defending beautifully. He's coming to the inside line, as here is Infamous. He's not looking for it. He needs to get this position done. He's going to try and go to the outside line, but still can't quite do it. And he is losing and more time. This is like Alonso and Hamilton at Hungary. This is Jacko defending for his life. And he's helping Proverb, he's helping Rageman, and now he's going defensive again. He's going to force Infamous the long way round the outside line, but still can't do it. He hits him, he's in the rear of him, and all of a sudden here is Matthias looking for the inside line, and Jacko really holding him up right now.
This is tremendous. Like you said, Liam, Jacko is doing his best Alonso impression that he can do. This is really helping his teammate. But it's costing Infamous acres of time. And Matthias is right on the back. Infamous has got to be really careful here. He could easily damage his front wing. He's got to play it smart. Unfortunately, he can't simply just box because he's on the medium tyre. He needs to stretch these tyres out.
This is exactly the kind of team plays. This is like Perez, isn't it? And look, he's going to look to the inside line, but Jacko there covers him, and now he's going to have to try. This is going to be a bit of a dummy then. He's going to have to do it, but Jacko's going to try to cover the inside line. And it's going to hit each other down the straight. They have hit each other down the straight. And here, look at this. They're going to be 3 wide into turn number 1 then. To the outside line. This can't work, boys. And round the outside goes Matthias. He gets the pair of them. Absolutely incredible stuff here. Jacko is costing Infamous this title.
Yeah, without shadow of a doubt. He is driving out of his skin. He's going to go down the inside.
He's on
the grass. He's on the grass. He comes down into the hairpin. And lovely on the brakes. And he's got him.
He's got him now. Jacko couldn't defend enough, but that is going to be... Infamous is going to be fuming. Absolutely fuming in that cockpit right now. He can't believe how much time he's lost. Because look at the gap to leader. It's 20 seconds. He's over 10 seconds behind his championship rival. Remember, Proverb may have a penalty right now. He's the only driver, I'll say that, Indecisive got a penalty as well. He's the only one of 2 drivers who got a penalty, but Proverb won't mind this right now. He will not care absolutely anything. He's lost, he's got a penalty because his rival is miles down. And right now, Rageman, yes, he's leading this race, but if I remember correctly, these guys need to finish, down in 7th, 8th position or lower, and they'll be decided. So it's going to be interesting to see what they can do. As Infamous has used all of his ERS as well.
Yes, that's one thing I was noticing when I was on board with him. He has got nothing to fight or attack with at the minute. He's got 8% ERS. Jacko's got 40%, and Matthias has got 83%. So Infamous is really in trouble here.
Yeah, he's not playing his cards correctly. Luckily, he's got a position here. You can see Jacko weaving a little bit. Is he trying to get under the skin here of Infamous? There's some under skin play between these two bitter rivals, I'll say. And there's going to be no love lost after this race, I reckon. Absolutely no love lost. I think these two might... I hope not. I hope they don't go at that. But I will say Jacko very much on the start line pulled across him. And as we've got a yellow flag, there is TJ who's dropped it again, unfortunately. That's a turn 8. Indecisive picked up a penalty as well. So a bit of struggle right there. But Infamous trying to get back on. He saved a bit of ERS now as he closes up to Matthias. But there's going to be a little... I think there might be a bit of an argument after this one, potentially.
Yeah, I don't think Infamous is going to be very happy with Jacko's tactics. I mean, they may be in the stewards room afterwards, I don't know. But we got our first pitters. We got you having a giggle, Wace, Mason and Jess all in the pit lane.
Yeah, by the way, We did mention it earlier. Look who's together. It's Mason and Jess. Those two lovely buddies sticking together as well. As you can see up through the order. Proverb second, Sully in third, Jamie in fourth, Matthias now. Next up, we've got Infamous. He's now in the DRS, and he's fun. He got that gap. But the one thing he doesn't want to do, and the one thing that we have noticed, I definitely know, is both of these drivers are on mediums. And what Jacko can do here, he'll stay out for a little while. Remember, you've got to do a 2 mandatory stop. I think around about, well, that 15, 16 ideally, and you're going to come in for a set of softs, and then he'll double do tyres. By the way, in terms of who is on what tyres, because I'm presuming I'm going to get told by Dexter who's on what tyres in a second. You can see all our nice tyre graphics right there. Wade's on a mediums. We've got Mason, Jess on mediums as well. TJ on a set of soft tyres. And that is who is doing what, as in comes your race leader as well. And presumably we're going to see Proverb dive in the pit lane as well to cover him off. Indeed, gets it nice and slowed up. Don't speed in the pit lane. Get it slowed down to way under as Sully comes in as well, under 50 miles now. He's actually stopped it on 50. As now you can see Matthias and Infamous, and then comes Jacko as well. But this is actually going to be quite interesting to see. Where is Rageman going to come out of all this? He's going to come out, by the way, right behind Infamous. That is how much time Infamous has lost. Because look, there it is. You can see the background. Right down the back of the top. There is the McLaren just at the exit of turn 3. These guys coming through turn 4. These guys are so close together. As now Infamous, is he going to have a look on Matthias down on the brakes? Are you going to lunge it? No, he's not. Thinks better of it. Thinks the long game. But look at the amount of time these guys have lost. And any chance, almost, I'll say almost, because safety cars still could happen. But any chance of really winning this race is going to rely on the safety car.
Oh, Infamous is going to be praying for a safety car because he really needs one. It's never over. Anything can happen in Formula 1, and it usually does, but he really could do with a safety car at this point. He'll be really praying for one as he's getting a little bit closer to Matthias now. He's got a bit more ERS than he's had for the last few laps. Is he going to be able... I don't think he's quite close enough to have a go at Matthias. He is within DRS, but he looks... No, he's too far back, I think. I think he's too far back.
Yeah, indeed, it's too far back. Jacko, that I thought for a second was pulling up the slipstream. I'm just looking by the way to see. Colin, can you check if you've got all of your TAS settings correct for me quickly?
You can.
I'll see. Let me know what. Tell me what your. I think it's the UDP address IP port is. Let's have a look, see if we can figure out if we can get it working. Potentially. We might be able to hotbod it on the fly, because it should theoretically work if we can manage to hook it up.
So I got 51.
Yeah.
178.
Yeah.
.137.
Yeah.
.209.
Yeah, and what is your UDP port?
237077.
23077. Put that on.
Try that.
Let's see if that does anything then. If this works, I will thank Nick, because he's just messes me. See if that does anything. Maybe it might.
We're up and running.
There we go. Thank you, Nick.
Thank you, Nick.
He's fixed us. As in comes Infamous into the pit lane, gets it nice and slowed down. Yes, he does, 30 miles an hour. This is, that's actually a lot early. He's going for an undercut strategy right now. So that is interesting to see, but we've got the TAS working finally. As it seems like it's a little bit of a wrong number potentially put in, but not to worry, my friend. I've done that many a times. Infamous, set of soft tyres. Where's he going to come out, by the way? He's going to hope he comes out ahead of these guys here, but he's not. He's going to come out, I think, behind Sully. Oh, this is going to be painful, but look, there it's going to be side by side between these two. Oh, no!
Oh, no!
Sully and Infamous contact at turn 1, and now that is the last thing they want to do, and we've seen these two come together before, Jason and Sully. We saw it, I think it was at Monza they came together. And it's happened again.
This is going to have big implications for the Constructors' Championship as well, with Sully down in 12th. Jacko is second. But this is not what Sully was wanting. He was really hoping to go and grab the Constructors' Championship, and he will not be very happy. I wonder whether there'll be any incidents in the stewards after this. Could be a possibility, as Mason's up into 10th now. He's started 15th after spinning in qualifying and losing his front right tyre, but he's on the yellow tyres, driving very well, and he's not far off Infamous.
Yeah, indeed. Jacko in the pit lane then, so he's just going to try and gamble on this undercut strategy. Well, the overcut strategy, let's see if it pays off. They were very close as well. They were very close. Here is Jason Infamous coming down the start line. Where is Jacko going to be out of all this? He is, I think, might just be awfully close. On the exit of the pit lane, there is Infamous. Comes out ahead. Where's he going to be in relation to Mason? That's the other crucial thing, because he's seen Coddick at turn 1 before, and he is behind Mason there, I think, slightly lifted potentially, and just not to try and get himself too involved. He doesn't want to get too dramatic either, which is a fair play. He's a lovely bloke as well, I must say so myself. He's a lovely racer as well. I've seen him have some cracking races so far, and what now? He's down in 10th. He's ahead of Jess and Sully. Of course, Sully went spinning around earlier on, but there is Rageman, by the way, and he is on the back of Matthias. He's got a 12-second lead over Waze. Giggle and Proverb down in 5th position with that time penalty, by the way, 3 seconds on him. Jamie, then Jason, then comes Infamous. Behind him, Jacko. And Jacko right now, what pace has he got in this car?
Well, Matthias has just boxed now, so that gives Rageman free air now to leg it again.
And look at the gap he's got. I mean, what is it going to be? It's about 15 seconds, isn't it? Something like that.
Absolutely monstrous. He's driving out of his skin. But Proverb sets the fastest lap of the race.
Yeah, Proverb starting to fly back then. He's on a set of soft tyres as he comes through the field. Infamous fastest lap now of this race as well. As you can see, Jason bit squiggly. There is Jason as well, and Infamous in 7th. These two presumably are going to be getting out of the way. Jacko, by the way, comes out to the head of Matthias. And I tell you what, he would very much like well, I think Jacko wouldn't mind a safety car. Infamous would adore a safety car, so it'd bring everyone back together. But we've got a bit of a spread out right now so far. We've got Indecisive and Aiden battling together down towards turn number 1. And Aiden, with the DRS, will be taking that position away to the inside line. He comes and will get that one done. Yes, he will. Indecisive struggling. Yellow flags, and there is Storm, who has hit the wall on the exit of turn number 4. No damage, I think, though, either, as he gets himself back going. And turn 4, another one of those corners which is going to catch drivers out very easily.
It's such a tricky corner to get the power down, and you're desperate to get the power down because you've got a nice long straight then before the hairpin, and Storm has unfortunately lost it, but it seems to have got away with no damage.
Yeah, that's the good one. He's managed to get away with no damage. I agree with Mr. Dexter, by the way. Why is Matthias on a set of hard compound tyres? That is a very... I mean, he could have gone medium, soft. But, yeah, that's odd. That is very odd. That does seem a
very odd decision. Yeah, that seems a very odd decision. I wonder whether it was a game glitch. It has been known. It happened to Mason a couple of races ago where he selected one tyre and the game went, no, you're not having that one. So, might be a strategy call, but it seems an odd one.
Infamous has been allowed through then, I believe, by Jason. So those two have switched. Jacko, by the way, has really dropped away from these guys. And Infamous, his next target, that will be Whopping Prover. Gap between those two, by the way, is 21 to 10 seconds, pretty much. Would say 10 seconds, pretty much. 8 seconds, so 7, 6, 5, 4 seconds counting the penalties. Remember, though, always a possibility for other drivers to pick up penalties. It's a circuit which can be very easily decided on penalties. But I tell you what, Proverb, he's going to go on Giggle, and this now for 3rd position, and there is 3rd position. He's now up then into the podium yet again. Next target is Waze, and then he's got Rageman a long way up the road, 11 some seconds.
I mean, Rageman is just, his pace around this track is blowing me away. He's driving out of his skin. And Wace is driving really, really well as well in second place, but he just cannot live with Rageman.
Yeah, he can't live with him. You've got Giggle and Proverb now currently in third and fourth. Jamie in fifth. He's got Infamous behind him. Then comes Jason. Then comes Jacko, Matthias, Mason up in 10th. Sully, poor old Sully, down in 11th after that contact earlier on. I don't know if he's got any damage. I certainly hope he does not. Jess down in 12th. We've got TJ in 13th. We've got Aiden, who's off at turn number 1 as I cut to in perfect timing in 16th. In 14th, we've got Indecisive. In 15th, we've got Storm. And Aiden, which I was going to say 14th, is now 16th position. We've got another car off the road, and that there is TJW is off the road.
Yeah, I was on board with him at the time, and he just took a little bit too much curve, and the car bit him and he was round, as Proverb does the fastest lap of the race.
Getting past
and
as well
as
Waze. Yeah. As Waze gets a penalty on the exit, and these are those kind of strategic things. More cars you get between you and your championship rival, the better it is. The one thing you don't want to do now is have a mistake. You've got, what, 15 laps to go here for today, and I mean, looking at people there, so far, Rage and Waze for potential driver of the day. I tell you what, when we win the championship, we'll get, I think, can we give 3 driver of the days, technically? Can we do that? Can we do that, Dexter? Can we give the champion to a driver of the day as well? Or does that not work? Have we got to give 2 strictly? I mean, champion of the day, I guess, but, I guess, can that be an award champion of the day? We'll give him that. I've made up an award. Here and now. There we go. I'm going to do it. And there is the answer to that one. Yeah, it has got a 3-second time penalty. Only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people have got a time penalty so far this afternoon. Which is surprising here on this circuit. It is very, very surprising. I can only pick 2. Can I give champion? Can I at least give a question to the champion at least? Does that work? Am I allowed to do that? Let's see if he replies. I mean, what? Talking of championship manoeuvres, here is Jason in the pit lane, but here is Infamous battling with Jamie, and let's see, Jamie and Infamous, these two have also had a bit of a up and down relationship before in races. They've come together once or twice nearly, and let's see, hopefully this is a good one. Infamous is a lovely driver, to be fair as well. He's a great person. He might be having a bit of stress right now, I reckon, in this cockpit, though, isn't he?
Oh, without a doubt, and he's on the faster tyre, and he really needs to get past Jamie as soon as possible and try and get on the back of you having a giggle. But he's really struggling. Jamie is driving superbly well. He's blocking when he needs to. He's got quite a lot of pace on those medium tyres, even compared to the soft runners around him. He's maybe within a shout of driver of the day if he keeps this pace up and keeps this position up.
Yep, still a long way to go. We are just gone past half distance. Then the number 91 stuck behind the number... What number is... 37 is the thing. I'm so used to you being on the halo. I tell you what, though, I think Jamie might get overtaken here. In comes Giggle for his second stop. Well, his second stop. So he's doing his final stop now for a set of medium tyres. Here comes Infamous up the inside then of Jamie. Jamie's not going to cover that one too heavily, and they're through into position. Though saying that, with a better exit, thought about it. I tell you what, if that was me, I'd have gone up the inside there and sent it. He had the opportunity, he backed out low. He's a bit hesitant, these drivers, aren't they? They don't want to be the one that potentially ruined the championship. But
no, well, I was actually talking to Mason earlier, and he was saying exactly the same thing. He said, I'm so nervous of... Oh,
talking to Mason.
And he's...
Matthias up the inside. That was a late dive for Matthias. There, he got the job done, as you mentioned there, and Mason had to open the door up because he was coming through over the line. Oh, that was late. I just got to it, but back to what you were saying.
Yeah, Matthias on those hard tyres is finding a surprising amount of pace as well. He's driving really well. But talking to Mason before the start of the race, and he was so desperate not to cause an incident with any of the title protagonists. He was really worried about it. I think it goes for a lot of the drivers who aren't in the hunt. They don't want to be that driver who causes and changes the championship run due to an incident.
Yeah, indeed. Well, so far, Way's going wide at turn number 1. Infamous Lair currently in 4th, 5th, and then Jacko 6th, 7th there for Matthias. Mason in 8th position there, chasing down Matthias again. Sully in 9th. Jess, by the way, back in the top 10, though. For how long? The answer is this long, because here comes Mr. Giggle, Jess harvesting ERS, and Giggle eats her for breakfast down to turn number 1, a scrumptious meal, and the Williams has been eaten up by Mr. Alpine. So far now into P10. So Jess back down to 11th. Jason then in 12th. He has done another stop. He's going to the end of this race. So far for him, the gap, by the way, between him and the leader, 43 seconds. Gap between him and Sully is 13 seconds. As there you can see, contact! Storm! And I think if I was indecisive, I might give that one up. Right there. Contact down at turn number 1. And Storm, rather, pointed the wrong direction, unfortunately, right there. And not for the first time, I've seen a Red Bull come a cropper with an Aston Martin. I've seen that somewhere. That was in practice, if I remember correctly. Was it 2020 or was it 2021? Stroll and Verstappen came together.
Yes, it was. Yeah, turn 1 on this very track. Yeah, they seem to have magnets on this circuit at the minute.
In the pits.
And Mason's going for it on Matthias. And he's got him. Got him down into turn 1.
As everything starts to happen, this is going to be close out the pit lane. Right, be careful here. And he backs off that. Sully slots himself up into 7th. As now Infamous comes out. Where is he going to be? He's going to be alongside. He's going to be behind his teammate. So he's come out behind his teammate. He'll be on the soft tyres. But now this is a Herculean attempt now for him. He's got 11 laps. And he's got to close up. What's the gap then between him and his championship rival? It is 44 seconds, 33. What is it? A 10-second gap,
yeah,
so what? 8 seconds.
Yeah, it's a lot to catch up. It's a lot to
and
catch up. Now
Matthias, who's gone off. And he's dropped it. And it's a very oddly place to drop it, buddy. He's dropped it on the inside of turn 4, I reckon. Not 4. That'd be it. If he dropped it at turn 4, he's ended up there. I don't know what's happened, but he's turned 7. He's ended up at turn 8 up the inside. Comes Jason, and and Matthias had to know he was coming right there, not to turn in.
Such a shame for Matthias. He was actually doing really well with those hard tyres. Maybe now it's time to box, get some softs on, and see if he can get some points.
In comes Sully into the pit lane, now up to 6th position for Whopping Proverb. It's starting to come a bit good, but don't forget Infamous, who's going to get up behind Matthias. This will be a pretty easy manoeuvre. The Matthias will have DRS. Yellow flags. Now, who is that for? That is for Storm. Getting out of the way. And I was worried then. That might have been Proverb. By the way, I'm going to say that. Mason, so far in 5th position, yet to stop this afternoon for his final stop. Jacko staying out on that set of soft tyres, trying to do whatever he can to just to do something, see what he can do. But I don't think he's going to get himself back into this one. Up front, Rageman, he's literally done everything he needs to do, hasn't he? He has dominated this race.
Oh, he's making it look easy. What a tremendous drive so far. Absolutely brilliant. One thing I'm surprised at is it looks as though Jason is holding Infamous up. Now, is Jason going to move over and let him go? Or are they going to fight? Because Infamous really needs to get a leg on now.
Yeah, I reckon you'll let him through. I say
yes,
that.
He just did,
right now. There we go.
As you said it.
They can read my mind. I think that was coming. It was a very good position there on the exit of that corner. As you can see, Jamie in the pit lane as well. Jacko now coming out. There is Rageman, your race leader, just ahead. And Jacko, he's half throttling it. He doesn't want to fight. He does not want to fight Rageman at all. I think he would rather see Rageman win this race because he is not fighting. As in comes Jess. You can see a few people coming up through the order. Infamous Lair is a little bit of a wiggle potentially just to say thank you very much to his teammate. And now he's got to get on with it then because the gap is, what, 10 seconds.
Yeah, that's a lot of time to gain with only, 9 laps to go? Second a lap. He really needs a safety car now. He really does, as Aiden picks up another 3 seconds. Jess and Matthias in the pit lane for their final stops.
Jason rather taking newer adventures there, as you mentioned as well. Like you said, Jess just stopped just a few seconds ago as he come up through the hill. Infamous there running wide. Doesn't want to do that another couple of times because that is dangerous in terms of things. By the way, in terms of who's on ERS as Rage comes in, Rage man, he's not used any ERS at all. Look at that, 95 ERS. He is taking this easily. Jacko as well, he's using his ERS, but he's not pushing too heavily. Infamous, he's gotten basically none left. He's running low. He's got Jason around him as well. Giggle just up the road has got ERS indecisive as well coming through. But everyone's got a lot of ERS. It's going to be interesting to see. We've got now just under 9 laps to go. The champion could be decided here and now today. As you can see, Giggle up behind Waze. Yeah,
Giggle's really closed the gap to Waste in the last few laps. I've been keeping an eye on the gap, and he's really been catching him. Waste is on brand new softs now, so he should pull away from him. But Waste is having a cracking result. He's had so much pace this season, but unfortunately he's had a few incidents. He's been a bit unlucky, and it just hasn't really gone his way, but he's driving superbly today.
In terms of your penalties, by the way, it is 3 for Proverb, 6 for Waze, 3 for Giggle, 3 for Matthias and TJ. Decisive's got 12. Aiden's got 8, so that'll be a 5 seconds being the pit lane, then plus 3 for track limits. And Storm has picked up 3 time penalties for track limits as well. So that is all on that one as well. So a few people have picked up penalties, but to be fair, all things considered, everyone has kept each other very clean. As you can see, Rage Man, I think he had to push that because he's used some of his ERS finally.
Yeah, he just seems he's decided, right, I'm going to go for it now, and maybe he's going for fastest lap now as well. Really putting the nail in the coffin now. But one thing that Proverb does not want now is a safety car, because with that 3-second time penalty, it could easily drop him behind Infamous. So Proverb will be praying there isn't one, and Infamous will be praying there is one.
Yeah, but Infamous as well, he wants to be careful he doesn't go too wide, because he's picked up a couple of warnings, I believe, this afternoon. So he's got to be on his best behaviour. There is Storm getting out of the way. As you can see behind, by the way, just fair play to Jason, by the way. He is keeping with your race leader very comfortably as well. He is not dropping back. So Infamous, he just seems to not have any pace right now. It is not working. He was hoping for a wet race. He doesn't look like he's got the pace in the wet, because so far it's just not going the way he wants to. And remember, more people up the road are picking up penalties as well. This is going to help Proverb more and more and more, because more people around him get up penalties. Yes, this will promote Infamous up, but this is not going to demote Proverb down as much.
No, that's right. And if things stay as they stand, Proverb will win the championship without winning a race.
Yep, Jacko.
Which is tremendous.
Jacko in, meanwhile, sorry to cut over you slightly there, but Jacko to stop for his last stop this afternoon. And what a difference this was from earlier on. You can see, look at this, Jason. He wants to go past. He really wants to go past. He looks like he's got a bit more pace than Infamous in this race on these tyres. It's just not working. Yellow flags, and there is Aiden West out of this race. And is that a retirement on circuit? Actually, it is a retirement on circuit, so that unfortunately will be a penalty for poor old Aiden West, because you're not allowed to do that. He has retired on circuit instead of the pit lane, so we should not get a safety car. I certainly hope we don't now, because that would be rotten. Like, I don't think we will. Unfortunately, he is retired on circuit, which is a bit of a no-no for the rulebook, if I'm not too mistaken. But luckily, no safety car.
Yes, I mean, Proverb must have been going, oh my word, there's going to be a safety car. Infamous, I bet he was swearing behind his steering wheel or controller, behind his PlayStation. He will not be happy that that wasn't a safety car. I bet he was almost certain it was going to be one. that's the type of attitude you have as drivers. When you're racing, you're so desperate for things to go your way, and it's just not gone in for Smith's way, and he doesn't seem to have much pace around here. Despite being on the softer tyre, Jason is sticking with him and is probably quicker than him and just holding back.
Yeah, he's just being reserved. Well, in terms of what the tyres are like between these two, where is the tyres? There is it. There it is. I always get confused on this game. 8-lap mediums versus 5-lap softs. So to be fair to them, the mediums are actually, at this stage of the race, a lot better than those of that. I tell you what as well, Way's catching up Proverb. I presume Proverb I'm guessing, move out the way of Ways here. Yellow flags, and that is Giggle, who's dropped it around, and that's going to allow Infamous to take up a position as well if he wants to be careful where he wants to make the manoeuvre. And for a second he thought about going up the inside for potential P4, but now Giggle can potentially back him up as... Oh, yellow flags. I thought for a second that, because I suddenly saw Proverb dropping down a position, that was an incident. Luckily, it wasn't. That almost killed me off that. So those two are actually going to go battle. I think, are we going to see Proverb come back through here, or is he going to lift off? He's lifting off. So he doesn't want to fight it right now. He's got the gap. He's got the buffer. Here is Giggle battling with Infamous, and these two battling for position. Now, which way is he going to force to go? Outside line. He'll now try and squeeze him as much as he can to the outside line, but he's through. But a bit of contact on the exit here now, potentially, is going to be Jason. Can't quite do it on the brakes either. Infamous now up to 4th. Will be on the podium, remember, as well. So your top 3 in the standings will be on the podium as Giggle very wide through the exit. We will not be able to get a safety car, I don't believe, from now on to the end of this race.
No, now it's too late now. So Infamous has just got to go for it. Now, Proverb does have 3-second penalty, but Infamous is 9.8 seconds behind him. I can't see him catching it in 5 laps, without Proverb making a mistake.
It's all about keep your tyres on the island and just do what you do. But Infamous, by the way, is on tyres that are a lot older. They are very much the oldest compound in terms of the soft tyres on this grid. 6-lap old tyres compared to what's Rageman and Sully's 5-lap old tyres. Well, it's indecisive. No one else has got older tyres, apart from, of course, those on the mediums. And of course, the medium tyres, in terms of wear, they will be better than these softer compound tyres. But like I said, Proverb, he doesn't need to push it now at all, does he? He can afford just to sit back, just kind of race your own race. You can see Jamie getting past. Giggles stopped. And I'm wondering, is this going to be a new nose potentially? He didn't have to stop. He had time to stay out. We got TJ who spun it. Yeah, but new nose for Giggle, unfortunately. So that is why, as I'm presuming, that's how it's no Storm. My apologies, he's gone off as well. That tricky turn 8. We've got that yellow flag there for Storm. He must be careful. The rear end doesn't suddenly light up the rears even more, and he'll end up sliding himself off the road. Lap 30 of 33, and well, it's all starting to come white then for the Haas team, which at the beginning of the season I was saying weren't having much luck. They were having troubles in pre-season. Both of them retired. They've been keeping quiet, and now all of a sudden, with 3 laps to go, it definitely is looking potentially, and we'll say the word potentially like it could come good. And Infamous, he's losing time, isn't he? He's dropping back.
Yeah, he's really struggling. The softs they're coming to the end of their life now. They won't do much more than 8 or 9 laps before you lose significant time. Dex in the chat saying Rage is doing his best Lewis Hamilton impression. He is just, I'm so impressed with the way he's performed today. He has really driven the wheels off the thing. He's driving. Oh, Proverb nearly lost it. That was so close. I bet his heart was in his mouth.
Yeah, indeed, but he's still opening the gap up. He is still opening this gap up bit by bit from Infamous. That is the thing. And yeah, I think I agree. Rageman is going to get one of the 2 driver of the days. We've got to give it to 2. I think Waze in second might be the other driver with driver of the day, of course, as well. So those are my 2 potential driver of the days. Like saying that Waze will finish. He's going to be ahead of Infamous, just, I think, in terms of the penalties, because he's got a bit more of a gap. It's about 12 seconds, and he's got 9 seconds of penalty, so he will be ahead as long as he doesn't pick up another one. Saying that, we've got, please don't tell me that's Jacko, it's not, it's Sully who's off then at turn number 8. He's the next driver to be victimised by the curb. He's got Jacko battling with Jamie, these two. Nice to see these guys together, and Jamie and Jacko, the double J then all together. Actually saying that, it's a triple J because you've got Jason, Jamie, Jacko. All we needed is Jess down in 8th and that would have been perfect. But these two, let's see what they can do together down the straight as they come up the hill. I think Jacko should get this one relatively easily, though let's see, he's a bit too far back to take the lunge at turn number 1. Might get an opportunity down at turn number 3, but I think Jacko right now is just going to sit down there in 6th position, just wait your turn and see and try and probably get him on the exit of this corner if he can, but he just can't because he hasn't got the speed.
Yeah, Jacko is, he seems to have a lot more pace than Jamie at the minute. Can he get into that 6th place, which will help in the Constructors' Championship, but at this moment in time, AlphaTauri are going to take it with how it stands so far.
Yeah, remember, still potential steward coming over as well for Jason, swiping across on Sully, but Sully's a long way down, so it's going to be a big penalty to switch this championship potentially away, but we are going on your last lap, and it is it's Rageman, I will say, well, rather, running away with this race. He has dominated every single lap throughout from start to finish. I think he's led nearly every single lap that he's run as well. So he has had a beautiful day, fast lap as well, so this is looking like a good thing as Proverb has just picked up another time penalty. That is another one, but it's not going to matter in the slightest so far, because as long as he gets it to the finish, he will be crowned champion here today, and he's just got to negotiate one lap. He's got a gap then, what is just about, looking at the gap it is, let's see, what's the gap? It's 11 seconds with 6, so it'll come down to 6 seconds, so he will be ahead of Waze as well, as long as he keeps it on the island, which he's done so far. He's just taking it nice and cautiously. But here we are then, on with your race leader, and it's Rageman coming through the last corner. He took the lead. He very much stayed there. Very much stayed there as well. Through the last corner, and Rageman dominates the season finale then here in Portugal. Rage will be second, potentially third. I think he will be in second, but here is the man. He's got to negotiate one last corner. He hasn't won a race this entire season. He's finished on the podium nearly every race. Whopping Proverb wins the Prospect Tier Championship, and he does finish second at the end as well. Infamous will cross line. He's fought it so heavily. He'll cross line. He'll be 4th in the end. Jason in 5th. Jacko will cross line in 6th, ahead of Jamie, and then Mason. Matthias has run out of fuel meanwhile, and he'll have a lot of cars coming up behind him as well. I think no, he hasn't actually. Has he run out of fuel?
It's very close.
I think he's got enough.
I think he's going to just about keep his... He won't be 9th with the penalty. It's going to drop him quite far behind the field. It's going to be behind Jess. And Jess gets a top 10 as well. What a fantastic result.
Yeah, just back in the top 10 as well. And Matthias down at 11th. Giggle in 12th. TJ in 13th. Indecisive and Storm. But there we go then. Your Prospect Tier Champion, Whopping Proverb.
Absolutely brilliant drive. Now, Dex in the chat might be able to tell me, is this the first time a driver has been crowned One Hub champion without winning a race? And Mercedes take the AlphaTauri take the Constructors' Championship as well. Jacko will be devastated. I know he was so keen on trying to get that Constructors' title. Just didn't quite work out for him.
Yeah, could have been a different day, of course, but Jason contact lens as well with the other Mercedes. That could always be hotly contested potentially in the stewards later on. We'll see if anything comes of it, but we'll leave that to the stewards. But it's McLaren and Rageman back at the top step here at Portugal.
And what a lovely sight to see the Welsh flag on the podium as well. A cracking drive by Wace. Really showed his potential pace and fantastic speed day as well. Really good drive from him as well. I would say I'm going to give my driver of the day to Waze.
Yep, and your question to Waze?
My question to Waze is, do you think now, with the new game coming very shortly, will you be able to improve your consistency and luck and possibly challenge for the championship on the next game?
Indeed, of course, my drive of the day, and don't forget we will also give Proverb a question as well. I will as well, because he is the champion of the day. Rageman is my other driver. You dominated this race from start to finish. Where was this pace earlier on in the season? Do you reckon if you had all this pace, this championship could have been a lot closer? I mean, you've had luck and you've had your unlucky moments, but you've had a good race as well. And 2, the champion of the day. That is Whopping Proverb. And Whopping Proverb, you are the world champion. The world champion. How do you feel? This has been an up-down season. You haven't won a race. You've been so consistent throughout. What are your emotions? How are you feeling? A hard-fought battle with your total rival. It came down to this one, but you have won it. How are you feeling today? And there is your thing. And we'll quickly go through your beautiful things. And that is the Mr. As I get it up, and that is your sponsors and partners. Before we start running this off, to our sponsors, by the way, Next Level Racing, sponsorly providing prizes. Pure Sim Gear, sponsorly by providing a pair of their sim racing gloves. The driver of the most combined poles and fastest lap. To our partner, Vespertine, who of course partner with Vespertine support our championship prizes. ERT, the partner of the ERT Go and Get Tough Award and League trophies. And to SimGrid, powered by SimGrid, who run our community platforms through their beautiful site as well. But that is it then for Prospect. A season of ups and downs. I might have only commentated 9 races, but I've enjoyed every single moment. And I would want to say, by the way, thank you to all of the stewards, all of the league owners, especially to the likes of Nick, who gave me a chance when last season I had so many issues, of course, related to other things, which I don't want to talk about too much. So I want to say thank you to him for letting me back in as well, to the likes of Dexter and to all the admins, to Jess as well. And I want to say a huge thank you to Colin, who I want to say you did fantastic today.
Thank you very much. I mean, what a race to make a debut on, and thank you to everyone at One Hub. Thank you to you, Liam, for giving me the opportunity to commentate, and what a brilliant race it was.
Indeed, and well, for the final time then this season, for once, the final time for me this season, because I ain't doing another race this today, for the first time in a little bit, because luckily we've got all the other streams up and running as well, which is all nice and happy, so I can hug everyone as well. But until next time, where we are, I don't know, it could be, I think, potentially ACC when that starts up soon, though I can't completely confirm that, but I'm sure you shall find out in due course. Until F1 22 from us on the F1 game, I have been Liam, and Colin has been Colin. Until next time, take care and goodbye.